Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Stuff in Excel. I'm Richard, and what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take a look at that perplexing problem of what happens when someone sends you a PDF file, but you really need it in Excel format. Now, you can upload the data using the Get Data From feature, but that doesn't always solve the entire problem. If there's a lot of data, it's going to be on multiple pages in that PDF file, and those will not automatically be merged together when you convert it to an Excel format. So we're going to convert that PDF file to an Excel format using Power Query, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's just get into it. Okay, so what we have here is a file right up here in this corner, and I will enlarge that so that you can see it better. I've just called it PDF file for conversion. So that is a file that was sent to me, and it's got a bunch of data in it, but I need it in Excel format. Now let's go see what this looks like when I just open it up in a PDF file. So this is what the file looks like. Ignore this stuff over here. So I've got page after page of data, right? I've got a couple things wrong with it. The first thing is I've got this data here. We'll see when we load it up. I can tell you right now what's going to happen is the date and the actual customer name are going to actually be in one column. The customer number and the soccer ball are going to be in one column. We're going to have to do some cleaning to fix that. Well, I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. We're going to use a text before and a text after, and I think it's going to work really well for you. You're going to like it. Now, the next thing I want you to notice is that this data is all on separate pages, which means when I open this data up in Power Query in just a moment, what you're going to see is that there will be separate pages for each one of these sets of data. But I really want it all in one Excel file. So let's go see what that's going to look like. So I'm going to open up my Excel, and I'm going to go up here to data. Up here at the top, you can see where it says data. And I'm going to now go over to the far left where it says Get Data. And I click on Get Data, and I can say From File, and I'm going to go down there to From PDF. So I'm going to go get this data from a PDF file. Now it's going to ask me where that file is. What file is it that I'm wanting to pull up? So that file I know happens to be on my desktop. That's the location of it. So I'll now go down to my desktop, and I will pick this PDF file that says, let me go find it here, PDF data for conversion. That's the data I want, so I'm going to hit import. Now it's going to open up Power Query for me automatically. It's going to open up this data always in Power Query. It's going to allow me to clean it and mess with it and do some things with it first before we actually load it directly into Excel. And that's a good thing because, as I said, when it opens up this file, it's not going to give me one file. It's going to give me a whole bunch of files. You can see, so my first table, and I'm interested in the tables, I'm not interested in the pages. The first table is actually my headings, and I'm going to need that. I've also got table 2, which is a bunch of data, table 3, which is a bunch of data, and you can see all that data is in one column there. I don't really want it that way. Table 4 is going to be in a column, table 5, table 6, table 7, and table 8. That's where my data is. Now, usually I just have to open these up one at a time. So I click, for instance, on table 1, and I go to load data. And it's going to go through, it's going to spin, and it's going to load this data up. It's going to create a query for me. And I've got a query over here to the far right now called table 1. But I don't have to do that for each item. So let's go back to data, and we're going to do get data from file, from PDF. And this time when it calls that file up, and again I'm going to go down to, I'm going to go to desktop, and I'm going to go down here to, let's see, where is it? I'm going to find it again. There it is. And we'll open it. Instead of opening a single file, I'm going to open a group of files all at the same time. Now, the way we do that, if you'll notice, there is a button right here that says Select Multiple Items. And when I click on that, it's going to allow me to open up multiple pages or multiple tables. So I'm going to click on each table that I want. Now, I can click one at a time, or I could click on the top one, go to the bottom, hit my Shift key, click, and it's going to open all of them, right? And well, I got to open up table 2 and table 3 again, and there's table 4. I want all of those opened together. So now I'll just hit load, and it's actually going to load all of these data files together, but they're not going to be merged yet. To do that, I'm going to have to use another tool. So you can see now that all of my data files are there, but they're not really in the order I want them. So I'm going to change the order just a little bit. I'm going to move the, and actually I'm going to leave them the way they are. I think I'll just leave them the way they are. You can change the order of those, but it doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to merge these files. Now the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go into my query, which is up here at the top. Now what's interesting, if I open these files one at a time, I don't get access to this. But if I open a group of these tables at the same time, I get this query tool at the top. And what I'm going to do is go here where it says to merge. Now merge is where I put a bunch of data together into a single file, right? Append is where I put data underneath each other. So merging is where I've got maybe one file with a bunch of headers or columns and another file with a bunch of columns, and I want to add those side by side. This is going to be where I'm adding data in a column. So I'm actually going to append these, not merge them. So I'm going to hit append, and it's going to ask me which files I want to append. So I'm going to want 3 or more tables, and I'm going to click on that, and here's my tables I have. So I'm going to put them over here. I'm going to put them all in one. I'll just hit shift, and whoops, it's going to give me all. I'm going to say add. Now it's going to add them. This is where I can move them up or down. So I'm going to take table 2. I'm going to move it up underneath table 1. And it gave me 2 table 1s for some reason. I don't need 2, so I'm going to get rid of one of them. So I'll move my table 2 up. I'm going to move table 2 up. I'm now going to move, table 3 up. I'm going to move, I got 4, 5. So table 1 is my headers. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to hit OK. And it's that simple. Once I pull this up, it's going to load this into Excel. And I'll show you here as soon as it pulls it up. Let me drag this over. Here it is. It opened up on my other screen, so I just drag it over. Now this data is all in one file. Now I've got a little problem because some of this stuff is combined together and I'm going to want to separate it, but that's a separate tool, a separate process I go through where I clean the data, and I'm going to use my text before and text after commands, and I will show you that in another video on how to use text before and text after, but these are really easy to split up. But now that I've got this data in a single file, I can simply go to close and load to, actually I'm just going to close and load, and it will load this all into an Excel file for me, all with one row or one file. And if I go down and click all the way, I can go all the way to the bottom, and you see I've got over 400 lines of data all rolled up together into a single file by using Power Query and the append function. Hopefully this was helpful. We'll see you again real soon right here on Stuff in Excel.